The views and opinions expressed in the following podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the producers, the affiliates, or digital platforms hosting this podcast. All content is for the purposes of education, conjecture, and at times entertainment. We promote inclusiveness and diversity. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Into the Deep with Jay Costa.
Welcome to Into the Deep. I'm Jay Costa. I am thrilled about today's guest, one of my dear friends who I'm grateful to have met on my musical journey through touring and making music. He's a father, he's a real estate agent, and happens to be a Grammy-nominated bass player. One of the best, most solid dudes ever. Today's guest is Chris Beattie. Chris Beattie is the bassist of the Grammy-nominated Hatebreed, who happen to be celebrating the 20th anniversary of their album Perseverance, the landmark album for both the band and metal as a whole. We talk about maintaining a positive mental attitude and how he's applied the philosophy that he's garnered from Jujutsu to everyday life. We talk about, of course, our love of music, creating it, playing it, and listening to it, and how that's changed and shifted over the years. We even have some really fun conjecture around the metaverse and even the possibilities of our own existence being a simulation. So, without further ado, join me as we seek light and journey into the deep with Chris Beattie. Enjoy. Beattie, thank you so much for joining me on this, man. I am so excited that you are wanting to do this and just taking the time out of your day to do this with me, man.
Well, you're such a good dude, man. I had so much going on with, like being at home, being with my kid and all that stuff. And it never fell until right there. I was like, and you had George involved. He's a great dude. I was like, I got to get this done. So I'm just going to do it. Today's my day to do it.
Dude.
I'm so glad to be here talking to you.
Dude, it's awesome. And again, props on the shirt. Just gold.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Big time. So, let me know what's going on. What's been happening currently in your life, world? What's happening, man?
Not touring and all that. It's been a fucking mind fuck, to be quite honest. Like we were supposed to go on the Parkway Drive tour in March 2020 or April 2020, and then everything hit the fan in fucking March 2020. And it wasn't supposed to be long, and then fucking fast forward 2 years down the line, and we're just doing that tour this year in a couple months. So it was like 2.5 years, rug pull for everyone, especially in our industry. And it's been crazy because no one really understands, like the entertainment. It was, I think, for a lot of people, like regular jobs and whatever, 9 to 5 people, they kind of got back into it a lot quicker. But logistically, that doesn't work for touring, right? That's your shit. And like, you can't just like, oh, we're going on tour next week. It's like, there's a lot more moving parts in that, and even now it's difficult. So long story short, like I got my real estate license. I've had been flipping houses before and in between tours and stuff like that. And I work for Jessica Martin, Sean Martin's wife. She's my broker, which is awesome because she's so fucking super cool and like down to earth, and anything I need, like she's right there for me. And it's crazy because I'm like learning a whole new industry. It's a lot more than you would actually think goes into, like, there's marketing, social media. You have to know all the documents. And like, there's a ton of shit. So I'm just still in like the learning process and trying to sort through that, which is great. Like, I don't mind it. It's definitely not one of those things that you automatically, you start it in like your first year, you're making millions of dollars. I don't think it's the slow grind. The same thing as a band almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very slow, and people fucking get out quick because they think, they want that instant gratification. and it's not there. You know, you have to work hard. You got to grind at it. You know, and so I'm just in it learning. The market is probably gonna start kicking up soon, so I'm gonna start doing that, and I have to kind of work those two angles with touring and, you know, real estate, and then I have my son half the time. So I mean, that's my favorite thing, to be honest. I love hanging with my kid, and like pretty much my world revolves around him, you know. And it's been awesome being home, and just I never had that really in my adult life, you know.
Yeah.
And it's odd. Like I got this awesome son, and you know, like it's great to see him grow, and that's going to be the hardest part, like having to go back on a tour. But we'll deal with it. You know what I mean? Like it has to get done, and also I miss playing. I miss my dudes, and it's just been fucking odd, man. Just a crazy fucking time.
Yeah.
Now it feels like it's all gone. It's now you get the war over in you know, Ukraine over there. It's like COVID never happens. Like, you don't even hear about it anymore. It's like news story. Like this is a huge news story. It's gone. That's gone. Like holy shit! What kind of fucking world are we living in?
There's more money in war than pharmaceuticals, apparently.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just so weird. Like, you're right. And like thinking about like the millions of people employed by the music industry and how they were deemed non-essential from the jump, and how it seemed like folks had to jump through like these small hoops, you know, on fire. You got to try and jump through these things just to try and get some sort of income. And, you know, it was just, it was awful. It was really, really challenging for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that died too. Like friends and stuff, like during COVID, you know, that we toured with, we're never going to see again. You know, and you know, like, you know, there's band members and stuff like that, and other, you know, bands pass away. But it's just fucking like what the fuck is this supposed to be? It's like a massive, huge, just like fucking feels like a simulation.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So adjusting like that has been very tricky, but navigated it. We all survived it. So that, I mean, that's the cool thing, right? We're here talking.
Right on.
We're alive. So that's a cool thing.
Right.
And I kind of focused a lot on my health too. Like during this time, I was always training jujitsu.
Yeah.
I've been training for like about 4 years, and that's been a godsend for like a stress reliever and just learning a new thing, and like sucking really bad and building up your confidence, you know, from like zero, you know, you slowly over time, you figure it out, right? And it kind of applies to real life. Yeah, like when you slow it down, it's all the same principles, right? You start like the new business, this and that. It's you build up, you suck, you fail, you keep going, but it's all about like keeping your head in the game and showing up.
I love that, and I love that you know that example of the parallels between like, you know, practicing and learning jujitsu and then applying that to everyday life. That's
the philosophy is amazing. I love it, actually. And I started running. I fucking just out of fucking nowhere. Actually, my guitar tech, Larry, I didn't even tell him this is the best thing. I think it was him. I'm not going to blame it on him, but I bought my bike on the Megadeth tour. We were on that the Megadeth, Lamb of God, Trivium, and Us metal tour of the year last year. And I bought my bike. I always bring my bike just to go fuck off and get exercise, whatever, during the day. And one trip, the bike was destroyed. I don't know. I forget where we were. The brakes are fucking gone. I had no brakes on this bike, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't like ride the bike with no brakes. Like, you know, like that's the last thing I need. And Dave Mustaine was actually he was trying to get on my bike and borrow it. And I was like, dude, I can't let you. Yeah, like fucking, that's all I need is like fucking this dude taking off on my bike and fucking no brakes. But so when that happened, I don't have a bike. So I'm gonna start like, you know, I had this weight vest I was wearing and stuff like that. And I started running. And in December, like I'm on the Strava app. And a couple of people I know, like it's like running, hiking, bicycle. It just tracks all your shit. And they had a couple of challenges, and I did a 5K, 10K, and like the main goal of the whole month was to do a half marathon. And I was like, I'm going to build up to that. But about a week in, I ran about 8 miles. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to go see what's in my tank. And I was able to do that. So I did about 3 of those in December, and I'd never run before. And fuck, man, now I'm in that game. And I love it, man. It feels good because I never thought I could do it. And I broke down a lot of mental barriers in my mind, like pushing through it, like all the shit that tells you can't do this, you're going to die, or, like all the things that go through your head that I'm sure everybody has, that stops you from doing things. I was able to crush those, and it felt so good to be able to do that.
Dude, that's awesome. Do you feel like having that component of, practicing jujitsu and that philosophy behind it helps set you up for the success that you found in running?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Cause it all goes back to that. Everyone's asking me like, why are you running? What do you like do? And it's actually helped my jujitsu. That was the whole main thing to do. Like, cause I wanted my cardio to be even better, like I wanted to up my game, right, level up. And I did that, and it's fucking helped me out in jiu-jitsu. It's just helped every other aspect of my life. And I actually got a shout out to Andy Frisella. He does this 75 hard program. And I actually did that on the Metal Tour of the Year. I started so it's 75 days. It's a whole mental thing. It's like an Ironman for your mind. That's how it's described. And able to, for 75 days, diet, drink a gallon of water, read 10 pages in a book, all these things, you could look it up online, 75 hard. But man, I did that, and I was like so psyched that I could like fucking do that for 75 days. And that being on that program and like not eating like shitty food when it came on the bus, no fucking pizza. I didn't drink for 75 days.
Nice.
And it was my birthday and stuff, like, on the tour. And I was like, fuck, I could fucking do that. I nailed that. And that fucking kind of like just set everything else in motion. And like, I don't know, I had a good experience of the pandemic, like as far as upping my game, so like health wise and all that shit. Things I never even thought of doing, now I could do.
Right on. I'm glad you said that, because I think there's something to be said about the time that we had. For some folks, we had, I guess, less interaction with other people. So it almost forces us to go inward and to really think about, that internal dialogue. What are we thinking? What are we experiencing? Right. And to your point, mm-hmm, you were able to turn that around and say, okay, you know what, like I'm going to work on me and I'm going to do this.
Yeah. I've seen people go the other way during this.
Yes. Same.
You know Scary. What I mean? Like it is because the mind is a terrible place. If you dwell on shit and you listen to the voice in your head, that's, like the negative voice, you just got to push through that. So like me mentally, I use that time to just be stronger. And it's crazy how, like, once you kind of control your thoughts and able to change the outcomes, it just like snowballs, and you become this different person, and you have a whole different outlook on life. Your perspective is different, like everything. So, I mean, I encourage people to do it. I know like that program I did is kind of extreme for some people. But I mean, we should always be trying to up ourselves, like, right. Like, especially knowing what happened during the pandemic, just to be healthy in general and have a good frame of mind, because it all starts in your mind.
Big time. And that's the one thing that, like, I've always felt strongly about. Luckily, thankfully, because my parents instilled that in my brother and I, is just like, your mind is either your best friend or it's your worst enemy. And you have to treat it with the utmost respect, and you have to care for yourself and think, in the most positive way possible. So like, we can talk about PMA all day long, but putting it into action too with that PMA, you're seeing the benefits. I see the benefits. A lot of people see those benefits. What are some things you think people should try and do? I mean, because what you're talking about, it seems like there's a lot of discipline involved.
Yeah, 100%. Start small. you know, like people even going to the gym or working out for the first time, for some people that's a huge obstacle. And you go like, I remember when I first started working out, I get sore. You're like, oh man, this is like, it's gonna be like this. You feel like fucking shit, you know. But you have to power through that, and just start small. It's even every aspect of your life, you know. Like you don't have to do everything at once. Like it's the small daily things that you do that get you to where you want to be.
Love
And
that.
that's been huge for me. And man, I don't know. I just feel so much different now in 2022 than I did a couple of years ago.
Right on. It's funny, like, you know, I haven't seen you face to face in a few years, but just seeing you, you just have this, you're exuding this different kind of energy, in my opinion. And like, you look great, and you just have this like whole aura about you that is just so much, you can feel it. It's just so much, I guess, better for you because you're pushing that forward.
Thank you, man. And I for me being like this, you know, it's changed me. So I hopefully other people will feel it and see it, and you know, and it rubs off on other people too. You know, like,
Yeah.
especially people closest to you. You know, that they see you do stuff, and like for my son, like he actually finished a couple runs with me. Like he would be there. He was like flying his drone and was doing all. You know,
That's awesome.
I don't expect him to do all that kind of stuff, but we would be at the park and I'd be running, and for me to lead by example and show him what's possible, you know what I mean? And I'm like, that's good to instill in him at a young age. I told him, I was like, you can do this. I know you can do this because I can do this. Your mom does stuff like this. So like you have it in you. Just got to believe in yourself.
I love that. It's probably one of the most profound things that we can instill in individuals at a young age.
Right. Because they carry it forever. Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where I am. I'm not going to be here forever.
Mm.
But when those kind of things you carry with you, you know, like my grandparents, I have, like, they're not here anymore, but the values and stuff they instilled in me, I still carry on, and I pass them on to my son. And you know, that's how you live on.
Absolutely. We were talking earlier, you know, like losing my mom, you know, a year ago, like I'm able to take a lot of those things that she taught me and just carry those on, you know, and just try and share that with people, because she instilled in me that love, that empathy, that compassion, and just to be able to, you know, and the ability to know that like you can do anything if you put your mind to it.
Right. So she's living through you, like, you know, like, which is, it's hard when you actually lose the physical person.
Yeah.
But to know that they're always there, you know what I mean? And all the good times, all, like, so it's, yeah, of course it's fucking devastating. I'm not taking that away, but you don't lose them entirely.
Never. No, 100%. I couldn't agree more. And like, that's the thing in like everything that I do, all my daily actions and thoughts, like whether you're talking genetically, you know, within my DNA, to even just those thoughts and those lessons and all of those things. So, you know, that legacy continues just like you're doing for your son, which is wonderful.
Yeah. It's amazing, you know, but it's a lot of like, gotta be like self-aware and, you know, and like take a step back and just to process those things, you know, because we get caught up in the day-to-day so often and you lose track of all that.
Yeah, big time. So going back a little bit to what we're saying a little bit earlier, you were talking a little bit about like, you know, obviously getting into real estate, things like that. I got to ask you, real estate, metaverse, what's going on? What are you thinking about this? I mean, you gonna,
man, the metaverse is a fucking tricky thing. I've been doing a lot of reading about like crypto and NFTs and the metaverse, and I love watching Snoop Dogg talk about the metaverse because it's fucking hilarious. But he's making a shit ton of money, you know. Right. So he's laughing all the way to the bank. I just don't like. Is it tangible? Like are we like sacrificing what's in front of us right now to live in this alternate reality? Like what goes on? Like why do we have to go there? Like it makes sense in the aspects of like people are into it. It's a real thing, right? Like people,
right?
You can't deny it. it's almost like a video game, right? So people are into that, but you can't reach out and touch it. And I'm totally not into the people with the what is it called, Oculus? Like, what the fuck? Take that shit off and live in the real world. You know, there's things right in front of you going on, you know, and like your life. I don't know why you would go there. Like, is what's in front of you right now not good enough that you have to like divert yourself to go into this other non-existent fake place? I don't know, man. Metaverse that's a sketchy place. But I would like to capitalize off it. Don't get me wrong on that, but I don't know how long that lasts for, right? Like, and I don't know. I'm so confused about that goddamn world. How about you? Are you into the metaverse?
I mean, I'm not. But it's weird because you know, people felt the same way even about digital music. You know, when it first came out, people were apprehensive. People were like, there's no way this could survive. There's no way it's gonna. And here we are. You know, we've eliminated most physical media, and now we're streaming things, and nothing's tangible. Even books. I mean, nothing's tactical anymore. You know, it's just like,
right.
You know, and then you look at the advent of, you know, with just social media, and then also like smartphones, and how people have literally just submerged themselves into their device more than just being out in nature or hanging out with friends. It's like this whole new generation. It's interesting.
It's almost like you can't ignore it.
Right.
You know, it's there. You can't ignore it. It's going to be around, but it makes no fucking sense. I'm sure the internet didn't make sense. You know, like a lot of things didn't make sense, you know, but like you said, here we are, and it's really going down. So, I'd like to just like kind of learn about it. I've been like, you know, diving into that stuff. I got a couple of friends that know more than me, and I do see like the avatars though. So my son loves Fortnite and all that stuff, and so I do see how that could play into that world, the gaming worlds more than anything, because you know you get to, there's a game called Rocket League, and play that with my son, and when you score a goal, like you have like people buy these things, like it's explosion or whatever, it turns the screen different when they score a goal. So I could see how if you were the only one that had this particular thing, how cool that would be. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
So there is a real thing going on, but it's at the same time, you can't reach out and touch it. So that's what confuses me.
Yeah. It's, I think it then comes down to, again, like to your point, what you're saying, it comes down to experience, right? If you're able to experience something and it's unique to the individual, then it gives it value, I suppose.
Right. Yeah. There is value.
Right. Clearly.
People are paying for it, and it's making a lot of people a lot of money, but it's the why. Like that's the why is confusing for me. I get the trading, the money, it's valuable to someone, people want to buy it, but why? The why hasn't really clicked in my head yet.
Sure. I know. I find it fascinating too. And now even in your journey with real estate and homes and things like that, I mean, gosh, it's something where it feels like in at least in modern times, where we want a place of our own. We want to be able to call this our own domicile, our own place. It's our fortress, what have you. And we're seemingly working towards these goals. And so we can own this thing. And how important that is. Have you had a sense of, I guess, a perspective change since you've gotten into this field, where I guess talking to individuals or helping people get into these homes that they've, you know, fantasized about or whatnot, that you feel like maybe your perspective has changed in any way from when you first started?
I mean, yeah, it has, because it's more difficult than it's a lot of hiccups and stuff that go on with some people. That I personally want to be able to help everyone get in a home. There's a lot of people that are sort of like on that cusp, like they make enough money almost, you know what I mean?
Right.
They could they're renting, but they could get in the house. And I think everyone should be happy and be able to get their own place and live the American dream. But that's what makes people happy, So I just really want to see people be able to have a piece of that, because what is life if you don't have dreams and you can't make them happen, And it's difficult for some people. My perspective is, it's because the market has been crazy, right? There's like a lot of money, a lot of bidding wars and stuff like that, and which is all well and good for the people that can afford that. But then there's also the people that want that so bad and working so hard, and I've seen a lot of people let down because it can't happen, So I have it's humbling, and like to tell someone like it's just not going to work for it's hard, and hopefully one day I just really want to like work with the mortgage people I work with and be able to find a way to get everyone that wants that dream to be able to achieve it.
That's awesome. And do you give people maybe some advice if you're having to give them that news? Do you then follow it up ever with like advice, or do you give them some maybe some best practices that they could utilize moving forward for better chances next time?
Well, yeah, because sometimes it's just it'll be a matter of money, like a down payment,
sure,
credit, So like there's the stuff that's easily like credit you can fix. Takes time, like the time is the hardest part, because it's limited, and so a lot of people want that today,
right.
Like, but if you wait a year, I was actually talking to a guy last night about this. He's not ready. He's not sure about the market, what's going on. No one knows what's going on. It's a tricky time right now, actually. Yeah. We got the war, there's inflation going on. Yeah, they're going to raise interest rates and stuff like that. So like people are kind of not sure. And if you're not ready, I told him, if you're not ready right now, he wanted to hold off. He had a whole plan to like live with his girlfriend. I was like, if that makes you happy, makes you feel comfortable, then do that. And then come see me. Because everything else, your credit's good. He was like, I got to fix that. I was like, all right, take the time to fix that. You got to do A, B, C, and some of it's fixable. I mean, like some of it's like a bankruptcy or something like that. It's a little bit harder, but the credit system is kind of insane to me too. Like right? Like
yes.
you have this credit system that you can't even get in touch with these fucking people. You got to send them a letter. Right. So it's like this rogue operation going on to finding, who you are and how much interest you're going to be charged and stuff like that. I think that has to be revamped at some point in time, because 7 years, like a bad mark in your credit, that's a long time,
Yeah.
So I think a lot of those things have to change, and I just like to help anyone I possibly can achieve their dreams, because life is short, man.
Amen.
Get out there, like get your family in the house, go do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Because what's the point of getting up every day, going to work, busting your ass, knowing it's not getting you anywhere? Like that's a hard thing to have on your shoulders.
100%. I think that's so well put. Like you said, that American dream. So many folks out there, blue collar, working class, just getting out there, busting their humps, and just trying to do it, and wanting to have something to show for it so they can feel good about it. And what that does psychologically when you're not able to attain that thing. And to your point, that credit system, I mean, there are folks that are making their cell phone payments every month, but yet it's not necessarily reflected. They're paying all these other bills, their insurance for their car, their car payments, all these things that, car payments do get reflected, but there are certain other things like utilities, things like that, that only count against you if you've missed them, but they're not counting for you in the same speed, right? If you're making those payments, it's backwards.
Yeah, like everything should be detailed in there. Like because everyone has to pay their phone bill, this and that, and Yeah, I don't even know who made up the system. That's some old ass system too. Like I would love to find the guy because it doesn't make sense. And then there's 3 credit reporting agencies, and but you got to work within their little framework there.
Yeah. and that's really everything is knowing what the boundaries are, knowing the rules, and knowing how to work within those.
Yeah, it's all doable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got divorced. My shit was like all over the place. So I had actually good experience because I was able to rebuild, you know what I mean? And I have great financial guys
awesome
that I had met with, sat down with, and from 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it's so much better, you know? But at the time when it was happening, I was just like, fucking, I worked so hard my whole life to fucking get this here. And so it's all tangible. And I like to tell people, not the whole story, but I was in your shoes and I made it out of there. You know, it's not like, it won't be there forever. You know, it's fixable, and you got to see the silver lining, you know?
Absolutely. That's awesome. Is that part of some of your advice that you would give someone, maybe like get some financial advisory, maybe start making these positive changes in your life, whether it's through exercise, a diet, all these things?
Yeah. I mean, I think that all works together, right?
I think so.
If you're unhealthy and you have that going on in your mind, you don't see a way out. And it's repetitive day after day. If you don't change something, if you don't change one thing that can get you out of that circle or the cycle of, repetitiveness, and then you're just going to be stuck in it. It's going to fucking wear you down, and it's going to make you think that you can never get what you really want out of life. I think exercise is the key, at least getting out, doing whatever you can, because I really can't start my day. I don't feel good until I've somehow sweated, worked out, and it does something to your mind, endorphins or whatever. And man, you just have a whole different perspective on that.
100%. Would you say early on, when you first got into music, it almost did the same thing for you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course. Music is, it's such a huge part of my life, and we wouldn't know each other from music, right?
100%.
Most of my lifelong friends are all music, but yeah, it's the same thing. I was explaining this to someone. I forget what we were talking about, but you could pick up the guitar or instrument, or whatever, and you get lost in that. It's like time freezes around you, right? Like when you're deep in that mode, and to me, that's amazing. I don't it's spiritual or whatever, but your mind is only focused on that one thing, and you leave for a while, and that's, there's nothing better than that, And of course, playing live, live show, the energy, all that shit's for real, Yeah,
there's nothing that can compare to those feelings, at least for musicians, that when we get it, because we're locked into that, it resonates with us, whether we're playing an instrument, like you said, or playing live. There's a whole different level of energy, and I remember feeling that going to see bands at an early age. Oh, I lost you.
Ooh,
there you are.
Hold on.
Going to
I'm 20%.
Oh, you're 20. Oh, hey, if you got, no problem. It's one of those things where going to see bands early on is what kind of influenced me to want to play music and make music. So it's just this ripple effect of energy, where you feel it, now you want to put it out there as well.
Yeah, and you give out, it comes back, and it's an awesome thing, And during this whole pandemic, it was kind of crazy when there was no music, and it's so fucking essential. I was going to, when the music started up, I was going to a brewery. I would go watch a guy just go Beatles cover. I was like, I need this in my life. I don't fucking care what they're playing. I need to hear something. I need to, and it does take you to a different place. And like, thank God for music, it doesn't really get the credit it deserves, but it's like fucking magic, man. It's incredible feeling.
Oh man, I couldn't agree more. It is magic. There's something in between those notes. There's something about the notes. There's something about the people that I've met in my life just because of music and listening to music, whether it's sharing music as a kid and like, check this out and like what it just does for your being and your psyche. Like you can't describe it.
No, you feel it. It's just a feeling, right? Like, and yeah, you can't describe. You don't know what the fuck it is. You hear something like, all right, you're amped on it, and it's like, why am I acting like this? It's that creating, So it's a really good thing, and I think a lot of people like kind of realize, now that the pandemic's kind of, I don't know, it's winding. I don't know what the fuck it's doing, but a lot of people have definitely realized that like they were missing that live music, and I'm glad that it's starting to come back and get back to normal, because people need that, man. People need to, they're working all week. They need to go hear music and let go and just have that release. It's just a fucking release, man. You need that in life.
100%. And that's how I've always felt about music for myself, for me, and it's always been cathartic. So it's been a form of therapy for years, and
You're right.
Just a release in so many levels. Whether, for me, I get it on a few levels. For me, in my experience is like, whether it's through my lyrics and through the music, and whether I'm writing the music or listening to the music that my bandmates are writing and then putting something out, then playing it live and just having this feeling that is indescribable, other than just I guess bliss and just joy and happiness.
Yeah, it's when it all comes together from the creation to, and then you play what you created and people react to it and they enjoy it. It's such a great fucking thing, man.
Absolutely, I love that. That's why I really hope that once things calm down and live shows start up again, I hope people are bringing kids. I hope more people are coming to live shows, because I felt like for a period of time, like folks would rather, it seemed like people would rather just stay at home, watch a video on YouTube, which is like, that barely scratches the surface of that experience of watching a band live.
Yeah, they're watching fucking videos in the metaverse, and they could be at a show experiencing that.
Right, exactly. And who knows? Maybe Snoop Dogg's the neighbor over here. Maybe Rick to Life's the neighbor over here. I don't know. It could be happening.
I hope Rick to Life lives next to Snoop Dogg in the metaverse.
That would be something.
Yes. Oh, wow. Please. That'd be amazing.
Can you imagine the block parties that would occur?
I don't know. We would definitely got to get those glasses and go figure it out. We'd dive in there.
Right. Come on.
Fly a plane over it.
Right. What's happening down there? Oh man. But yeah. So
is there a metaverse within the metaverse?
Now we're talking. Now, okay. So hypothetically, what if that's what this is?
Our existence? The simulation theory? Are we going there?
Going there.
Because I think about that all the fucking time, and it's very possible. I've watched videos and documentaries. It's like, and I guess what they say is our technology now is so far advanced that we can just be a fucking simulation. Like we could be running, and it's crazy. Like if you think about it, like why couldn't that be? There's like it's hard to say why it couldn't be. Then and this all could be a simulation. We came into existence. We know each other. We didn't make each other up, but we just interacted. We could be players in this game.
Right. This whole consciousness, what's happening in experience right now, like, and then that's what this metaverse is exactly what you just said. What if it's a metaverse within a metaverse?
Yeah, could be people in the metaverse wearing glasses in a fucking other metaverse.
Right. and then it just keeps going. And to your point, like, why couldn't this be, for all intents and purposes, if we break it down for conjecture's sake, everything can mathematically be broken down to cause and effect, similar to a video game. There are mathematic principles that if and then is what it comes down to in programming. So if then, there's laws of physics around us that are basically if and then.
they're like an algorithm, right? Technically.
Yeah. So
like everything going on is, I'm open to it.
I am too.
I'm not, and like seeing what happened the past couple of years, I'm fucking more open to a lot of things than I've ever been in my life. Like why couldn't it be possible? You tell me why it can't be possible. Right. I'll listen to any aspect of it,
100%. And it's funny because we think of the notion of what was, at least purported through, the story of the Matrix, and how, you can start thinking about it from that perspective. But then also when you think about it from a quantum physics standpoint of consciousness, that if we're all essentially programs or programmers, or learning how to be programmers, then we can affect our reality and can affect our consciousness.
Yeah, we are programmers. We're
Bingo.
Programming things in our mind all the time. We've, like the manifestation and all that shit. It's like,
right.
It's all real shit, because we wouldn't have this, we wouldn't be talking if you didn't decide to have a podcast, so it's all whatever's in our mind comes out in physical. But shit, I don't even know if we know what physical is anymore. It's. I have a picture I got over here. It's the Milky Way galaxy, with Earth in it, and I keep it. I showed my son. I was like, this is just amazing. We're fucking floating through space. We're floating through space right now, and it's like, what the fuck? But we're focused on where we are now, right? Like and all the daily distractions and problems we have as humans and all that stuff, that like you forget to look up. Like we're so lucky to even be on this fucking planet, that's sustaining life, one that we only know of in our galaxy, and in fucking the middle of nowhere. We're in the middle of fucking nowhere. Talking over some Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing shit, dude.
Yeah, for real. Like, talk to me as a kid. This is like Star Trek stuff, Yeah,
and like nothing's too far-fetched. It's cool, and at the same time, it's like fuck. And if you think about it too much, you can't. It's so hard to comprehend. Even just how big the universe is, like ever expanding, and like you fucking lose your mind. You can't think about it, because there's no sense to be made of it.
It's funny you say that, because yet, like, we're those kinds of individuals, and yet there's that, like, that sliver of humanity that's constantly trying to figure this out, and they're constantly getting into that. And like, well, we got to make sense of this. We got to quantify what is happening right now. And I'm so grateful for those people, because I don't have the bandwidth to do that. But I enjoy that.
Yeah. Oh, it's beyond interesting, and I don't. But when you try and wrap your head around it, and even the human body, you think about like our body, like there's millions of cells that make us up. What the fuck? Like you like when you really like stop and think about it, you're like how it all worked out to make you, to make me, like, it's like, but what in the fuck? It's like,
right. And we could replicate ourselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you like this? I'll make another one.
Okay. Yeah. We'll just keep going. We could reproduce. We could do these things. It's fascinating.
It really is. That's a whole nother episode. We'll have to do on that one.
I would love that.
Yeah. We'll have to do some reading. And that I started this, I got this book on AI too, artificial intelligence, and it kind of like fits into this whole thing, we're talking about, and like computers, like I didn't know this until like this year, but there's like, a lot of the social media stuff, there's all those bots and stuff like that, and people commenting, you can be arguing with some fucking thing that's not even real, that's spitting shit back at you, that's having a full-on conversation, an argument with you, but it's an algorithm.
Yep. Dude. There are entire blogs written by bots out there in the internet, blogs just writing stuff based on algorithms, and it's machine learning and then AI. It's just all happening.
Yeah, and people are arguing with it.
Yep.
Or like to me, that's once I found that out, I kind of like stepped back from like social media. And
right.
Well, social media, it's good and bad. And like this past couple of years, it's been really a trying time for everyone, and people fucking, there's so much shit going on in the world, like, and everyone had the time to focus on it. And like stepping back and just being like, I don't want to hear that every day. Like, I don't want to see that. I really don't want to like participate in the madness that's out there, because you can control that, right? You can control looking at it. Yeah, I'll go on and like shit and stuff like that. But the participation aspect of it, you could just be going around fucking circles with something that doesn't even matter.
Yep. It's great perspective. And I think that's a great takeaway for folks to really think about. Like, you're spending all your time and your energy and your attention on something that might not even be a human being writing that. All that energy is just being wasted in arguing and speculation and conjecture. And it could be used elsewhere in a more positive way.
Exactly. And it doesn't really last long, right? Like, there'll be a thing that happens, everyone gets pissed about it, or whatever reaction for a couple of days, and then it's like it's gone. It's like now we're on to something new, but people are so fired up for a day or 2 days, a week, whatever, about this one thing, and then where is it? Now it's just gone. Now, we're on to the next thing.
Yeah. It's like just because there's so much information coming, and not just information, but just sometimes it's just transmission, because sometimes it's not even content. It's just transmission, constant, just stuff people being inundated with. So they get distracted and it's gone. It's a fleeting thought.
Like
again.
TikTok or YouTube or stuff like that. It's just like, it scrolls for you. You just have to be on, and it's going, and videos are playing, and
dude,
you're just on. It's just on.
Think about exactly what you just said. What a great point you just made. It scrolls for you. You finish the video. Oh, here's the next one. Now you're watching. Oh, here's the next one. Dude.
Hour goes by. You're like, what the fuck? I purposely chose to take those kind of things out of my life. And I like living in the real universe out there. But this kind of stuff fascinates me, though. I really find it interesting, and I love people walking around. I mean, you remember Sully, our old tour manager?
Yeah. Oh, Sully the Bull.
Yeah, he used to have the BlackBerry, and
I did too.
Yeah. He's just looking into the box for answers. We'd ask him something, and he was like, he'd look into this box, and we were like, well, what the fuck you doing? Like, but everyone now is looking into their box for answers. You know what I mean? Instead of like looking around them. And
wow.
It's fucking crazy to me.
It is absolutely crazy. The days of, a BlackBerry in one hand and a Sidekick in the other hand, and trying to get a tour going and figure out like different things. And it's just like, gosh, again, staring into that box. I like that. I mean, I don't like it, but I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, what do you think is coming up next, in your opinion?
As far as what, like technology? Or?
Sure. Yeah. Anything. Like, how do you see this kind of unfolding? In which direction, in your opinion, and if you have a thought about it.
Well, shit always gets worse before it gets better, right? Like there is a great like that guy or Schwab or whatever said, like great reset, stuff like that. Like,
Mm.
but it is a time like things are changing. Like I think after what just happened past couple of years, things have changed forever. This, like the way people are with people, and like take the war right now for instance, right? We just had this a couple years where we're all in this together. Like, everyone, we have this thing we got to defeat it as a world, not even as like countries. And it's just washed under the table. And now dudes are fucking killing each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's, I still think there's other shit to go on. But I hope at the end of that, like people, like I hope there's like peace. And I just hope that, that people would come to terms, like just better each other, and that, like we're not perfect. We're humans, and we're all gonna fuck up. Everyone fucks up. There's no one perfect. We've all made mistakes in our lives. Yeah. Everyone's so quick to point the finger at this one and that one, but dude, it's been going on forever. There's not one person that has a clean slate anywhere. So I just hope maybe all the chaos is going to wind down and people would have a different perspective of how to treat people we share the earth with,
I love that.
That's where I want to be. I want to live in a place like that,
Me too. And it's not in the metaverse?
It might be.
Maybe it is. What do you got coming up musically? You got anything you're working on?
Actually, I have you on my studio thing here. I'm getting ready to like start recording and write new shit. I was kind of deflated fucking during the pandemic. It was especially that we were supposed to go tour and all that stuff, and we had a new record out. Like, we were all fucking hyped on all that shit, and then it was like just pop the fucking balloon, and it worked so hard on shit. You know what I mean? It was kind of depressing, to be quite honest. And now come around, and like, you're starting to appreciate things. For a while I was just like, what the fuck, man? How could this possibly happen? So, and I never stopped like loving music and all that, but just as just the fucking rug pulled from underneath everyone, and so I'm starting to get back into the mode where I want to like write and record again and do that, and it was hard, man. I'm not gonna lie about it.
I can definitely align with you on a lot of that too. It's tough, and to get that momentum again, or to feel just the inspiration again, right? To feel like, what am I doing this for? What? And then it almost makes, at least for me, it makes you internalize that and find an original purpose again. That I am doing this for me, and I enjoy this, and I enjoy the music I write with these individuals and what we do.
Right. I'm like in the mindset, or kind of was like take a break from it. You'll come back to it. If it's meant to be, it'll come back around. And music has been the one constant in my entire life, like through my entire teenage years up to right now. It's always been there for me. Girlfriends come and go, this one come and go, friends, this and that, but music is always there, and it's it doesn't leave you. And I've always felt that way. And like, I kind of like got frustrated with everything going on, and because we put our heart into every album we do. We you know how it is. You put your heart in your sleeve, and to have that just fucking get deflated, and it's like, fuck, it's humbling. It's really confusing, especially for the reasoning that it happened. And I'm glad that now I'm inspired again. And now it's that drive is there, because you can't really write if you're uninspired, right?
No,
you're forcing some shit, and it just doesn't feel right, So and people don't understand that, like, if they're not musically inclined, or it's just you can't. You have to like kind of have a burning thing inside you that makes you want to do that. So I feel like I'm back there now, which is awesome for me because it was always at my core. But sometimes you gotta let shit go and see what happens, right?
Dude, so accurate. I absolutely align with that too, man. Well put.
I think there's a lot of people, a lot of musicians, and like are dealing with the same shit, you know. So maybe they can fucking hear this and be like, all right, like I'm not the only one, you know, like because you kind of like get lost in your own thoughts and start losing your shit, you know, like thinking about that, you know.
Absolutely. It's easy to happen. It's easy to allow it to happen to yourself when you're getting, like you said, lost in your own thoughts, and you're like, gosh, you know, all that self-doubt and all that negative talk starts happening, whether you realize it or not, because now, well, why am I doing this? And why should I bother? And then it just snowballs in the negative direction. And then to your point earlier in the conversation, you know, saying about that snowball effect of those positive inclinations of like, you know, exercise, diet, you know, positive mindset, and just finding that inspiration again and that burning desire within. I love that.
It all steamrolls like one way or another, right?
That's right. Better in a positive direction.
Yeah, you have to make those small steps of change, and it just takes one step, you know, one step at a time. That's what I think when I'm running too. It's like, and I thought I was fucking nuts when I was running. I'm like, I had a goal to hit a certain thing, but I'm like, the goal doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is the next step in front of me. But one at a time until you get there, you know. And if you keep that frame of mind with other things in your life, you know, it's not the thing that's making you anxious about, you know, that has to be done in a month. You know, you gotta slow it down. You gotta slow it down and just kind of break it into smaller parts and tackle them one at a time.
100%. I love that. Where can folks find you on the internet?
Well, I'm not in the metaverse yet.
Yet.
Yes, I might. I don't know. You never know. It's definitely a possibility. I'm at wait, hold on one sec. 10% now. There we go. I'm back. Got a base on Instagram. I forget my Facebook. I think it's just Chris Beattie on Facebook, and Beattie Real Estate is my real estate page, which I have to start digging into that a little bit harder. And I have a whole plan. I read out a whole plan for this year, like a business plan, marketing plan, and diving into that. But I'm on all those pages there. Most of the time on I Got a Base. That's like the Hatebreed, you know, music one. And yeah, real estate. If you need real estate, I work all over. I take referrals from every state around the country, you know, and happy to work with fans, and maybe they need to see a face they're familiar with, or work with someone, you know, that they know from a different world. And I really enjoy that, and I really want to help people out. So like helping people is always, that's the main reason I do the real estate, is I just want to help people.
Right on. That's awesome. I love that. You bring up a great point, you know, a face that they know, and, you know, someone they know that's going to straight talk with them, you know, and hey, you know, I'm going to help you to the best of my abilities.
Yeah. It's going to be someone, right? Like, so maybe you have someone that you're familiar with, and, you know, a little bit of reputation, and, you know, I'm here to help people.
That's awesome.
As much as I can. Cause I think we do that in music, right? Like you're helping people. And we're also helping ourselves, but we're helping people. Like, you know, just so I guess we're all a bunch of helpers at the end of the day, right?
All right. I guess we are essential.
Yeah. Jesus, I can't believe they forgot about us. But we're here. We didn't go anywhere.
Never did. Nope. We're here to stay. Any last minute things you wanna plug, or things you wanna share?
Yeah, we'll be our Parkway Drive this year. I'm super excited. That tour is going to happen. I think it's early May it starts, and I'm just excited to go out and play. And that tour has been on fucking hold for like 2.5 years, and it's great to actually finally go do it. You know, it's I can't believe it's been on hold that long. I've never had that happen in my life. But that's what I'm looking forward to, and just getting out there and seeing all the familiar faces, the people support our band, other bands that fucking haven't seen in forever. You know, like I miss, you know, like you really you forget about that, man. Like, damn, I haven't seen this guy. I haven't seen you in years. You know, you're just like. It's kind of crazy, but I just, you know, there's such a brotherhood, sisterhood, and, you know, such unity in music industry, and everyone's in the same boat doing the same grind and you know, so I think it's gonna be good for everyone to get back out there, and especially seeing the fans that always been so supportive, and we're ready. We're good, man. We made it. We made it out of this shit. So we're ready just to bring it.
I love it. Awesome. Chris, thank you so much for joining me, man.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And there you have it. I can't thank Chris enough for such an awesome conversation. I mean, we talked about so many awesome things. We had some fun moments. We talked about one of my favorite things, the power of a positive mindset, and how, with that positive mindset, we truly can accomplish anything. I absolutely love Beattie, and he's such a great dude and a great human being. So I cannot thank him enough for joining me. You can find Beattie on Instagram at God of Bass, as well as on Facebook, but definitely not the metaverse. And be sure to follow his real estate page. You can find that at Beattie Real Estate. So if you're out there and you're looking to get into a house of your own and you want a straight shooter, be sure to hit up Beattie. He's going to steer you in the right direction, and he's taking referrals from all states. So be sure to look for Beattie Real Estate. And since Beattie and I recorded this episode, that Parkway Drive tour has since been postponed again. But rest assured, Hatebreed just announced that they're going out in support of Anthrax and Black Label Society. So be sure to check out Beattie's socials as well as Hatebreed's socials, and make sure you catch a date if it comes through your town. If you're watching, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you can find out about new episodes that are coming out. If you're listening to the podcast, take a moment and rate it. We're still a new podcast, and by you rating it is actually helping us. You can find us on Instagram at itd.jcosta, as well as on Twitter at itd_jcosta. Thank you all so much for joining us on this journey. Until next time, take care of one another and keep thinking for yourself.